Well, I had a dilemma. There's something I want to share that's on my heart, but I also want to get some sun because it's beautiful outside and it's October and I don't know how much longer this is going to last. So hopefully this comes through. I can't really see because the reflection, but the sun feels so good and I'm going to soak it up. But I have been dating, right? So let's talk dating in your 40s. I mean, everybody has a different story, but I would love to share just a little bit about my heart. After being married for 20 years and obviously a totally different person than I was when I met him in college at 19 or whatever it was. Um, and for me, obviously, a big part of my story is really finding the Lord in 2014. And my life has just really changed since then. So I feel like my marriage, I mean, we were just misaligned and grew apart. I was definitely into personal development. I was into becoming the best version of myself. And on that walk, I think we just, again, grew apart. Um, and we're not intentional on growing our relationship or dating, honestly. And I won't get into the specifics there. It's neither here nor there. But the point is, after divorce, gosh, it's a big question of like, how soon do I start dating? I feel like I did a lot of healing within at the end of my marriage because I knew it was pretty much over. I knew I had to do what was right for me. I knew I had to surround myself with people that supported me, so I had mentors, friends, family, coaches that were there for me to listen and to encourage me and help me remind me who I am, right? And remind me of the truth. And so let's see, I moved out December 2020 after I filed for divorce October 2020. So December 2020, I mean, I'll never forget that day, that period of my life. And, again, it's like, gosh, some people say, wait a year or two until you start dating. You have to take the time that's needed for you. So I took some time, but gosh, I probably got on the dating apps in like March 21 or April, because I remember dating a couple people in April 21. And in that time, again, I was doing things to grow and to heal. And I certainly did not want to jump back into a relationship. I wanted to learn about myself. I didn't want to jump back into something similar because that's a lot of what will happen, right? Our pattern is to go back to something similar to what we were in, unless we are being intentional, unless we are aware, and unless we, really work on ourselves and work on what we want. And again, be intentional about what we're looking for. But anyway, went on a dating app and, I'm actually really, I mean, I had a lot of healing, I believe, in dating. So I was with somebody for about 2 years. And I mean, I tell my friends, I was treated like a princess after being in a marriage where I was not treated like a princess, where I did not feel like I was a priority, where I did not feel loved or appreciated. And again, I wasn't the best version of myself. So, I blamed and I was a victim and I'm, continue to work on all of that. Um, Obviously, again, I took ownership and did the work for myself, but really felt good to give love and receive love and feel worthy, right? Feel worthy. It was nice. I'm words of affirmation is my love language. So to be told that all the good things like you're beautiful, you're an amazing person, you're a great mom. Those aren't really things I heard in my marriage. So to hear that, that felt really good. And I'm not sure it really matters. Well, I guess, everybody asks, okay, well, why did that end? And I think for me, a lot of relationships I've had since have ended because I've lost trust. I like to say, like, I'm pretty vulnerable. I've learned to be vulnerable because I feel like that's how you connect with people. So if somebody opens up to me, I open up to them, and then you said kind of grow in your relationship, right? If you're talking very surface level, like how's the weather? How was your day? Not a lot happens. But if you're sharing your heart and you're sharing, your purpose and your passion and what makes you hurt and what brings you joy and all those things, you grow pretty deep with somebody. So I learned to communicate better in that relationship. He was a great communicator. Again, we weren't great communicators in my marriage. I feel like I'm constantly learning to be better. Um, but so it was kind of like a great way to practice. And again, that relationship, I mean, whether I stayed longer than I should have, I don't know. It was amazing. We had a blast. I mean, even the things like having my door opened for me, that just felt really good. Um, really good. And now it's like that's an expectation I have in my relationships. I want a man who opens the door for me. And again, somebody that, you know, communicates well, somebody that lifts me up, encourages me, listens, is honest and vulnerable with me. And ultimately, that relationship ended, I think, because I lost a little bit of trust and integrity is really important. And when you say you're going to do something, doing it and feeling valuable by this person. Um, and then, I was going to take some time off. And, you always want to take some time off and heal and digest and probably maybe whatever, got in a relationship pretty quickly after. But again, I like to say like I just have a lot of love to give. I really enjoy connecting with people. Not just friends, but like I enjoy being in a relationship, especially one that felt good and that I felt good in and that felt, encouraging and loving. And uh, so then I was in a 7 month relationship and again, it was a great relation. Like it felt really good. I mean, there's parts of me that often ask myself, is he the one? And dating is kind of figuring out, is he the one? But how soon do you know that? Like, are you supposed to know that right away? Are you going to know that right away? Is there really something like love at first sight? So again, it's going with the feeling of how do I feel with this person? I felt loved. I felt taken care of. Again, opened my door for me. The amazing things where when you're walking on the street, he's on the street next to the cars and you're on the inside. Like that's just a beautiful thing. But again, eventually, and I guess for me, faith and trust in God came down to it too. The two men I'm telling you about didn't have that. And those were really my two, I would call serious relationships since divorce, where I got to kind of just enjoy being loved and receive that love and give. And not having trust for me um, is what was missing. So for me, I'm looking for someone that has that trust, that foundation. And it doesn't have to look a certain way. I don't even know what the label is. I don't call myself religious because to me, religion is rules. And I just want the relationship with God. I want the knowing and the trust and knowing his words and him trusting telling me who I am and trusting. And I want a man that trusts the Lord, hears his voice, and I can rely on that man to trust God and trust him because he trusts God. If that makes sense. And again, I have coaches in my life that are kind of, showing me the example of this and helping me with my relationship vision. And it's truly been amazing, to really stop and ask the questions like, what are you looking for? And not like tall, dark, and handsome or like honest and kind and patient. I mean, some of these things are so obvious to me. Like, who doesn't want tall, dark, and handsome? Who doesn't want someone that's honest and kind and loving? Obviously, right? Like, who doesn't want that? But and someone that has a similar values and, stuff like that. Well, oh, sun feels so good. Sorry. Um, So I guess again, I just kind of lost trust in this person and the integrity. It wasn't like the stress and anxiety that he had was not something I wanted to surround myself. I had so much just like walking on eggshells, stress, anxiety in my marriage. I don't want that in a relationship. I want love, joy, peace. And that is where I'm pulled toward. That is the energy I like to show up in and the energy I want to be around. So people that bring me love, joy, and peace are the people I want to be around, not people that bring me stress, anxiety, fear, right? So ultimately, I think that's what ended that relationship. Um, and so now that I'm kind of dating again, I mean, that relationship ended in March 24, and now here we are, October 24, and I laugh because a dear friend suggested I take 6 months off of dating apps and really work on myself. So, I told my family this, and my dad often asks, "Oh, are you still on your 6 month break?" And honestly, in the past 6 months, I've probably gone out with 20 plus men. So I took some time off, but again, I just have this desire, and you have to do what feels right for you. Part of my point is there are going to be people in your life that say, take a year, take 6 months off. There are going to be people in your life that say, hey, you are specific about what you want. And there's only so many people in the world that fit that. So you have to take the action to meet the person. And yes, you can go to events nearby. You can maybe meet somebody at a bar, not necessarily where I want to meet somebody. You can meet somebody on an app. You can meet somebody at church. You could meet somebody through a a friend, right? Somebody could set you up. You could meet somebody through, like, I love to play pickleball or tennis, or through a community or something you do or whatever. But if you're not kind of so it's the figuring out what feels best to you. Do you want to sit back and let go and let God? But at the same time, my belief is you've got to be taking some action. And I have learned so much in the past 6 months about myself, about what I'm looking for, about what I'm not looking for. And I'm just being way more intentional once I go out with somebody, or even let's even back up before I even go out with somebody. Let's even talk about your dating profile. You need to be really specific. For a while, I didn't even have the word God in my profile. And I'm like, oh, why am I attracting people that don't have God in my life? Oh, because I don't have it in my profile. Now I'm very crystal clear. I'm looking for a man that has faith. Faith is very important to me, and that's important to me in a spouse or in a life partner, right? So I am a little bit better, not perfect, a little bit better about, like, sometimes if somebody doesn't have God or Christian in their profile, I'm not even going to match, because it's like if you're not mentioning him in your profile, he's probably not your number one. So again, it's being very intentional about what you're looking for. And so that's number one. And, being better about reading profiles. And like, if you can just get the feeling by what people say. If somebody says something, then I'm just like, then I'm not going to match with them. But I also want to have an open mind, because while I'm not really interested in dating somebody that's shorter than me, I don't know why. Maybe I just feel I want my I want him to protect and provide for me. And I am more attracted to somebody that is maybe taller and muscular, because I feel more protected with that person, but I'm being more open. So, like, I don't think you have to be specific, but again, it's up to you and what feels good to you. So, and then just, even in the conversations, I mean, oh my gosh, who is dating online? And how many good morning, how are you? How's your week going? And we get to decide how we answer that question. If we say my week's going good, that's pretty boring, right? Like, I want to show some personality and some honesty and some vulnerability and some, hey, this is who I am. So I might say, how was your day? I will go into a lot more detail, like, wow, my day was really good. I'm super thankful for my flexible job that allows me to go to the gym in the morning and go for a walk. I'm grateful for the days I get to play pickleball or whatever during the day or at night, or gosh, I got to go to worship last night. And normally maybe I wouldn't have said that, but like if you are not your true self, and this is the work I've been doing, is becoming my authentic true self. Because I think in the past couple relationships, I have maybe molded a little bit into who they are, right? So if they have a desire to whatever, watch football. That's not something I normally do on a Saturday or Sunday, but they enjoy it. So I started to enjoy it because I enjoy learning about the person. I enjoy seeing them passionate about something. I enjoy doing something they're passionate about. Similarly, like if somebody's never played pickleball, but I do, let's go play pickleball. Like it's fun to have similar values and goals, but also be open-minded to trying something new. Um, but not totally molding yourself into to fit into who they want you to be or something, right? If that makes sense. So I am being more open to like to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I might not normally tell somebody, oh, I went to church or I go to worship, but like that's what I'm doing and that's who I am. So that's what I'm going to say. So it's so freeing to be me. And again, I've had so many people in my life bless me in helping me and walking me through this. But, one says, you can't miss who's meant for you, which has given me a lot of peace. And um, if it's not him, it's someone better. And I love both of those. That feels really good to me. Um, because again, I've dated some amazing guys, but I know in my knowing, like in my heart and soul, that maybe he's not the one. Because sometimes maybe we don't talk about faith on the first date or even in our words, and like that's something that's important to me. But again, you have to have that fine line between, yeah, but I like this, this, and this. So it's like what's important to you, but then eventually I feel like you have to have that conversation, right? So this is just something I am constantly thinking about and just feeling my way through, I'm proud of myself for being able to say no a little bit earlier. Going out with somebody, maybe one, two, or three dates, and just knowing, you know what, this doesn't feel right. Maybe this part feels good. Like one guy I was super attracted to, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. But like the conversations weren't great, and there was no depth, and there was no substance. And I would think after date three, you might want to have those conversations. And I go back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to ask a man out. I want the man to ask me out. But there's been a couple times I've asked somebody out, right? Because I feel excited about them. So you have to do what feels right to you. I guess what I'm saying is like there's no rules. It's just go with your gut, go with your feeling, be your true authentic self. And it's so freeing. So moral of the story too is like I think I've tried to control some of it, right? Um, and I've really gotten to this place with a lot of coaching and a lot of healing and a lot of inner work to really let go and trust that God's got me. And it's a really cool place to be because then it feels like I can just enjoy the moment and I don't have to try to control it. I don't have to be scared that something's not going to work out. If it's meant to be, it's going to. And to enjoy each person that comes into your life. There's a reason I feel that each person comes into our life, and maybe they bless us in a certain way, or maybe we bless them in a certain way, right? Like some guy I talked to, he really blessed me and encouraged me, but now he decided not to talk to me anymore and block me. Okay. I mean, what have you? I mean, who knows? Maybe I have no idea. Maybe I trigger him. I told him I probably wouldn't be romantically interested in him. That's probably hard to hear, but I'm being very honest. I just need to be honest. We have to be honest with ourselves too, with what we're looking for and what we want and how we feel. So I don't even know if I've been talking. Again, I can't even see myself. Like the sun is in my eye. but I don't care because I got to sit outside and enjoy it. But this was really on my heart. So I hope this blessed you. I hope you got something from it. Obviously I love to hear comments. If you're wanting to, jump on a call, see if coaching or something is something for you, let me know. I do have my package in my LinkedIn. You can always go and schedule a call, a free call, or you can go and schedule coaching. I'm always looking for people to have on my podcast. I just feel like everybody's story is valuable. Everybody's voice is valuable. So I like to give valuable voices to anybody that wants to hear and wants to listen. So I love to have people on that have blessed me or that are in the process of blessing others through coaching or through writing a book or having a podcast or speakers. So that sounds like you and something you're interested, reach out. So hope this blesses you. We'll see where this goes. Have a blessed day.